Imagine that thousands or tens of thousands of birds simultaneously change the direction of their flight. Amazing figures appear in the air consisting of thousands or tens of thousands of points. Either they gather into some kind of balls, or they stretch like ribbons. This is a mesmerizing sight. And thank God that we do not need to imagine it in our minds, since we can see such a spectacle in reality. This phenomena is called by the tender word murmuration. Murmuration is a beautiful natural phenomena when thousands of birds gather in huge flocks, which dynamically form into amazing celestial figures, constantly shrinking and unclenching. The birds simply disperse and gather together, like dancing couples of people or a crowd in a stadium. But unlike the fans, these movements are not rehearsed. Everything happens spontaneously. It seems incredible, but during the murmuration, a flock can unite even up to 1,000,000 birds. And in Denmark, for example, murmuration is called sort sol, which means black sun. Sometimes flocks of starlings, which have long been gathering on the Jutland Peninsula during migrations, really obscure the setting sun for several minutes. For science, this is one big mystery. It is not clear why the birds fly so close to each other. It is also not clear how a flock of many thousands can instantly change the direction of the flight. More recently, even scientists have attributed psychic abilities to such birds. But as it turned out, everything is much simpler. During murmuration, each individual simply follows the movements of 6 or 7 closest neighbors in the flock. And it's also important to know that murmurations don't have a leader, and they don't follow any plan.
That's the bird.
It should be noted that although the term murmuration is applied primarily to common starlings, however, this is not the only bird species that can fly in such a massive and coordinated way. It's just that the starlings are more professional in this matter. And although starlings have other remarkable skills, for example a tendency to skillfully imitate songs and even human speech,
Scrappy baby. Scrappy baby. Scrappy baby. Scrappy baby.
their murmuration is still much more impressive. The ability to arrange large-scale air shows is perhaps the most amazing feature of starlings. The well-coordinated movements of flocks, consisting of thousands and dozens of thousands of birds, are sometimes so complex that they seem unrealistic. Usually our birds show such aerobatics at sunset. For a long time, only scientists and bird lovers knew about murmuration. This phenomena has gained wide popularity relatively recently, when Instagram, YouTube and TikTok appeared. For decades, scientists have been banging their heads to unravel the reasons for this behavior, and here's what they say. There are 4 explanations for this phenomena. According to the first version, murmuration is the process of learning to fly by young birds. It is assumed that this is how adult birds teach young ones to fly. But educating youth doesn't work that way. Inexperienced birds would simply be knocked out of the flock. Therefore, we immediately discard the first version. The second version is more plausible. The birds are trying to protect themselves. No bird wants to be the one to be grabbed by a predator, and a flying mass creates an effect of confusion. Murmuration is a kind of protection from predators. At the moment of danger, they fly with sudden changes in direction while simultaneously imitating a huge living creature that can confuse a predator or scare it away.
It is because it's dying. He's trying to pick one up.
However, in most cases, the birds begin their show at times when there is no threat on the horizon, so the second version has a bit of truth, but not quite true. The third version says that in this way the birds exchange information about food supplies and places to spend the night. And finally, the fourth version, the most unscientific so to speak, but still interesting. The birds are just playing. We underestimate some birds and animals. It seems to us that all they do is just sleep, look for food and marriage partners. We think that they have no other affairs or emotions. In fact, many animals enjoy ordinary games. It is enough to look at the crows. At the games of the otters, who spend not so much time hunting. The rest of the time, they just play with each other. Maybe murmuration doesn't have any practical meaning, such as increasing flight speed, reaction speed, or something else. It's just an element of the game, and the birds love it. Perhaps they simply enjoy such flights. There is even such a scientific term for animals, comfortable behavior. Therefore, there is every reason to assume that speaking of murmuration, we are simply dealing with the elements of comfortable behavior. However, for ordinary bird lovers, the causes and mechanisms of murmuration are not as important as the spectacle itself. For the sake of it, they are ready to get out into nature in the cold season and even make trips to where the air dances of birds are most spectacular. If you seriously want to see such a bird show live, then you will have to visit such places as the Danish part of the Jutland Peninsula, or the Scottish village of Gretna Green, or the English city of Brighton. By the way, in the Central European part of Russia, at the beginning of fall, you can also see murmuration. In the southern regions of Russia, starling air shows continue throughout the winter. Concluding the conversation about murmuration, it should be noted that in addition to starlings, many other birds also gather in huge flocks that quickly change shape. Among them are such species as budgerigars, waders, jackdaws, and weavers. By the way, murmuration is found not only among birds, but also among fish. They huddle into a tight ball and, as if on command, abruptly change direction. But when we talk about fish, this phenomena is called differently: a fish school or a shoal of fish. Gathering in schools, some fish also simultaneously show complex figures. And it is no less spectacular than among birds. Watching this is a real pleasure. But since this is another topic for discussion, we will talk about it in the next video. Therefore, we do not say goodbye to you, but say see you soon. See you in the school of fish.